Gray Davis.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. Thank you, and Happy New Year to you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Bustamante. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for your leadership. Speaker Robert Hertzberg, thank you for being my friend, and thank you for marvelous service to the people of California. Let's honor the Speaker of the California Assembly. President Pro Tempore Jack O'Connell, my good friend, Speaker-designate Herb Wesson, distinguished members of the legislature, again, Happy New Year to you. Chief Justice Ron George, what a wonderful job you're doing on the court. Thank you for being here, sir. Thank all the members of the California Supreme Court for honoring us with your presence again. We are greatly honored that you would take the time to be here. Simple language. Give consumers more power to control whether, when, and where sensitive personal information may be used or sold by financial institutions. When we're done, my friends, we'll have the most comprehensive, consumer-friendly privacy laws in America. My friends, tonight in this hard hour, the challenges of leadership are many. Restoring abundance in a time of economic shortfall, maintaining safety in a time of global conflict, sustaining hope and tranquility in a time of fear and uncertainty. But the true measure of leadership is how we master these moments. Because of the smart investments we made together over the past 3 years, because of our fiscal caution, because we put progress above partisanship, we are better prepared to meet the challenges ahead. If on occasion, however, we doubt our capacity to succeed, let us find inspiration in the courageous passengers of Flight 93, who on an ordinary morning boarded an ordinary plane and did extraordinary things. These were everyday people who, upon realizing their fate, summoned up the courage to overpower their captors. Their heroism rallied the nation and guaranteed that no more innocent lives were lost. We may never know how many thousands of lives they saved, but this we do know. Flight 93 was one of freedom's finest hours. With God's grace and with the courage of these heroes and our own lasting values as our guide, we will continue to turn adversity into accomplishment and lead this great state forward. May God shine His magnificent grace on the United States of America. May God bless this great state.
Governor Gray Davis, live from the state capitol tonight, delivering his fourth State of the State address. The governor, of course, facing re-election in November of this year, but more immediately facing a $12 billion budget deficit. But tonight in his State of the State address, surprisingly offering no specifics as to what is going to have to be cut in the budget The governor did say that he would not support any tax hikes to balance the budget, but he offered no specifics on what needs to be cut in order to eliminate that $12 billion deficit.
Let's bring in Marcy Brightwell now. Marcy, the governor said tonight he announced the protection or expansion of public education, unemployment increases, public safety, expansion of child care, after-school programs, local government budgets, childhood lead poisoning project, but not one word about any cuts in any program. How is this possible with a $12 billion deficit?
Well, it may not be. The governor is supposed to unveil his budget proposal Thursday. That's when specifics about cuts are expected to be announced. But clearly, with the $12 billion deficit, there will have to be cuts made somewhere. And if he's not willing to raise taxes, as some of his Democratic colleagues want him to do, there will have to be some cuts. Also,
We're working with the Bush administration to create a tiered system of public warnings when terrorist threats occur. Second, we're asking the federal government to allow California Highway Patrol officers to provide additional Sky Marshal protection on in-state flights that they're taking anyway in their course of their duties. Third, we'll ensure that law enforcement officials, with the authority of the court, can monitor communications by suspected terrorists and allow roving wiretaps on suspects. Fourth, we'll tighten controls over the transportation of toxic and hazardous materials.
as you see, terrorism was a big part of the governor's speech, outlining 4 points that he wants to make to help ease terrorism fears in California. Now, terrorism is expected to put another strain on California's budget. The governor's saying that he wants to spend about $400 million extra on terrorism and security this year. That will have to come from somewhere. And at the same time, of course, we face a $12 billion deficit. Some Democrats pushing for tax increases. But as you heard tonight, the governor is saying that he does not include any tax increases in his budget plan. I can show you that tape.
The budget I will submit to you in 2 days will be fair, will preserve the major gains of the last 3 years, will protect local government, and will not increase taxes. I will call upon you to close the budget gap with a combination of cutbacks, deferred spending, internal borrowing, and accelerated revenue. Here are the basic principles I used in formulating the budget. First, my commitment to public education remains resolute. Let me be clear. Education will be protected above all else in my budget.
Davis saying he will protect education, protect public safety, and protect health care programs for children. Now, earlier today, Republicans taped a response to the speech, and we have, I think, Republican GOP leader Dave Cox.
Good evening. Just 1 year ago, Californians were worried about keeping the lights on, skyrocketing energy bills and rolling blackouts threw California into a state of crisis. While the electricity crisis continues, we now face another crisis. Your state government is more than $12 billion in the hole because we simply have been living beyond our means. Last year, in a bipartisan effort, our President and Congress delivered significant tax relief. However, just 8 days ago, California's state government hit you with a $1.2 billion tax increase. 3 years after Governor Davis took office, state expenditures are up 37%, while the population has grown only 5%. In the midst of this 3-year spending fury, Governor Davis ignored all the warning signs. The governor could have avoided the budget crisis, the state's infrastructure crisis, and the energy crisis. It appears the governor's view of fiscal responsibility is to sign an out-of-balance budget with a tax increase. Governor Davis's solution to the transportation congestion is to delay until 2008 the requirement to use highway taxes for highway construction. Governor Davis's solution to the energy crisis is to sign long-term, expensive power contracts obligating Californians to governor the looming budget crisis, and the governor ignored it. Based upon the governor's 3-year record, I submit to you that this state faces a crisis of leadership. However, if they're willing, we stand ready to work with the governor and our Democratic colleagues to craft a responsible blueprint for California's future. Thank you and good night.
Dave Cox saying that the state faces a crisis in leadership. We'll have more reaction from Republicans, including Republican candidates for governor, coming up tonight at 6.
All right. Thank you very much, Marcy. 2001, Governor Davis declared the state strong, healthy, and growing. 2002, no proclamation, but a promise that California will get better.
And the governor will be delivering some specifics on the budget coming up in 2 days, and we'll have more on that, of course, this week on News 10. We'll be back with News 10 at 6.